First up, we're going to start with Anthony Dillon. So Anthony is currently a postdoctoral research fellow at the Institute for Positive Psychology and Education at the Australian Catholic University in Sydney. He has had several thought-provoking articles published in the Australian newspaper, The Conversation and the ABC Drum Online. He believes that Aboriginal affairs is everyone's business and that for as long as Aboriginal people are diminished, Australia is diminished. He further believes that political correctness is killing Aboriginal people as fast as drugs and alcohol, and his writings can also be found at www.anthonydillon.com.au. So, welcome, Anthony.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, you can hear me with this, that's working, all right. What's the view? Do you know how to get the view thing for this? Where's our IT man? The bottom. Sorry. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. We're trying to make it big.
No, sorry, I just want to. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And then to move it forward, I just hit space bar, is it?
Just left or right arrows.
Right. Okay. I'll work it out.
Actually, let's get technical.
I'll keep talking. Welcome. Thank you very much. You can see the title there: Free Speech and Thought, Offence, Double Standards, and Aboriginal Perspective. So I identify as part Aboriginal, so I thought I would bring that to this presentation. And while I could give a welcoming to country, I think that's a complete waste of time because I've got much other better stuff to talk about, I think. So. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now, also, in my presentation, you're going to see a couple of Bill Leake cartoons, who was a great mate of mine, and they would have appeared irrespective of what happened a month ago, the passing of Bill. That's just the way it turned out, and what I can do is I'm dedicating this presentation to my mate Bill Leake. So. So let me start with a quick story. A man's on a bus. He sees this young, rough, homeless hippie person hop on the bus, and this hippie person's only got one shoe on. And the old man looks at him and says, "You've lost a shoe." And the hippie said, "Actually, I found a shoe." My point is, we can look at things and we can see it differently. And I want you to get used to seeing things differently. Hopefully I will challenge you in this presentation. And I guess this is the heart of what I'm talking about. Okay? Again, from the brilliance of Bill. Everyone there can no doubt see the horse. You could give him a name, Flicker, whatever you want. Who can see the frog? Who can see the frog now? Again, I want you to begin to start to see things from a different perspective, and hopefully I'm giving you a different perspective on old things today. So, is it hate speech or is it just inconvenient speech? Is offence taken or given? It is most certainly taken. Do others have more control over your feelings than you have over them yourself? So this whole idea of you offended me, you upset me, you're basically saying you have more control over my feelings than I have over them myself. If you want to live life like that, giving permission and control to other people to control your feelings, go ahead, be my guest. But please don't try and push that BS onto me, that if I say something, I've upset you or I've offended you. No, I haven't. You've offended yourself. You've taken the offence. That's simply why, I'll come to it more shortly. There it is there. So I could tell a joke to two people from the same family. One could laugh, one could cry and say he's offended. It's not the joke that offends or tickles. It's the individual. They put the meaning to it. Okay, so the speech, the image, the cartoon or whatever does not offend. I hope that's clear by now. There's that cartoon of Bill's. Just a quick joke about this too. Bill and I, we were chatting, we used to chat regularly, and a couple of months after it, he was asking me, he said, "Anthony, when's your birthday? How old are you?" I said, "Well, actually, Bill, I turned 50 on the 4th of August, and I was going to do something, but someone stole the light from me, because his cartoon come out on my birthday. I said, some racist man took all the attention from me on the 4th of August with his cartoon. We had a good joke about it. That escaped a lot of people's attention. So why weren't the activists saying, look, here's this positive role model, this Aboriginal man being a police officer, but everyone picked up on the, oh, righto then, what's his name? The father. And the Aboriginal police officer could have very well have been my father, Australia's first Aboriginal police officer. And here's the inconsistency. That come out in response to the other one, white people. There was no one jumping up and down saying he's stereotyping white parents or, you know, all that sort of nonsense. They only saw racism in that cartoon, but not in that cartoon. Okay, so I am giving this an Aboriginal spin. So, as was read out before, it's everyone's business. Aboriginal people are people first and Aboriginal second, okay? Hurt feelings must never trump discussions on hurt bodies. And one of the big issues for me and a few others who are the targets of, you know, 18C and all that sort of thing, is we're talking about violence and child abuse in Aboriginal communities, and we're gagged, we're silenced by it, okay? Helping Aboriginal people means making unpopular decisions. Being Aboriginal does not automatically qualify you as an expert on Aboriginal affairs, and I'm included in that. I have Aboriginal ancestry, but that does not make me an expert, necessarily make me an expert. Talking about negative or shameful matters in Aboriginal affairs does not necessarily make you a racist. It can just make you a truth teller, an inconvenient truth teller. So what are the consequences for restricting speech and opinions in Aboriginal affairs? Debate and discussion is stifled. The us-them mentality is reinforced. Non-Aboriginal commentators are branded as racists. Aboriginal people continue to suffer. As said before, for as long as Aboriginal Australia is diminished, all Australia is diminished, and Aboriginal commentators are slandered. Here's what happens. I've seen this circulating in the social media. I'll assume most of you know what the native police are, if you don't Google it. But that was put up there as a derogatory attack, you know, a slander. I'm very proud to be, if they're going to include me in that group of people, Bess Price, Warren Mundine, Jacinta Price, go for it. I'm happy to be included in there, but it was not meant as a compliment. So, as Aboriginal people, we cop it far worse when we talk out on these matters than a white person does. Where's 18C for that? Okay. Thankfully, we don't need it, because we're not going to play the "you've hurt my feelings" crap. Now, the lady on the left, Jacinta Price, I'm just going to read out to you the things that she has been called. That I need a bullet. I'm a sellout. Coconut brown on the outside, white on the inside. White arse liquor. Slap the bitch. She's going to get speared. Kick her in the cunt. That's what other Aboriginal people say to her and me because they do not like what we say. There's my father, Australia's first Aboriginal cop, Bill, and myself. Thank you very much.